On the agenda tonight, we're going back to 1970. We're going to be taking a look at the Carpenters, and they're going to be performing a medley of Burt Bacharach hits. Hello, Phil here from Wings of Pegasus, and welcome to another analysis video. If you enjoy this video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe. So this was a video from my request list, and it does coincide with a lot of the requests I've had recently following the sad news that Burt Bacharach has passed away at the age of 94. So we're going to be taking a look at this video, and I am going to be jumping into it. So just to give you fair warning, there is a link in the description below, so you guys can click on that if you want to watch it the whole way through. But we'll jump into this and spend a bit of time talking about Burt as a songwriter and the Carpenters as well with this very performance. So let's jump into it and see how they get on.
Words suddenly appear every time you are near, just like me, they long to be close to you.
I'm just jumping in here just to say about Karen playing the drums and how subtle the foot pedal is, and that hi-hat, opening the hi-hat, closing the hi-hat, is such a part of the overall sound, the song. And talking about the song, Burt Bacharach and Hal David, those are two names that we mention in so many analysis videos because of the sheer number of songs and hits that they wrote for other singers. And going back to the point that I make about being a songwriter is such a different animal than just being a singer or an instrumentalist. It's putting together melody with what you know technically, how to do, how to play an instrument and how to sing. And coming up with these melodies isn't very easy because everybody would be a fantastic songwriter if that were the case. So that, Hal David and Burt Bacharach combination, having Hal being the lyricist and then Burt kind of writing the music and the chord progressions, having his background in jazz, you have this kind of combination where you get supremely talented artists such as Karen Carpenter with her voice and as a drummer, and Richard as well, just supremely talented, but paired with a fantastic song. And that's where the magic happens, and that's where the explosion happens in the charts, and you get songs that just stay in the charts for ages, and more often than not, top 40 hits, even top 20. And with Burt Bacharach, you're talking about multiple number one hits, but just in the top 40, he had 73 hits in the US top 40 and 52 in the UK. And I mean, it is mind-boggling to think that one person, and when we combine obviously Bacharach and David as a writing duo, just dominated the charts so much, had so many hits. To think that it's just two people doing this, it's not a team. And if you guys want to see an analysis of Karen Carpenter and the Carpenters on the channel, then there's a video that I've done independently that you will be able to find, and we get into the pitch monitoring software, have a look at Karen's voice, which we do point out on that video was more accurate live than she was in the studio. So again, this is the kind of thing that I'm referring to, the talent that you have in the voice, especially of Karen Carpenter. But when watching this performance, you can tell how happy she is behind the drums and singing at the same time. And I think it's actually a bit of a shame that during her career she was thrown to the front of the stage and had to leave the drums behind, because it would have been great to just leave her behind that kit, because she can sing and play at the same time. But let's enjoy this.
going is good. Knowing when to leave may be the smartest thing that anyone can learn. Go. I'm afraid my heart isn't very smart. Fly while you still have your wings. Knowing when to leave won't ever let you reach the point of no return. Fly. Foolish as it seems, I still have my dreams. So I keep hoping day after day as I wait for the man I need. Night after night as I wish for a love that can be. Though I'm sure that no one can tell where their wishes and hopes will lead. Somehow I feel there is happiness waiting for me. When someone walks in your life, you just better be sure he's right, 'cause if he's wrong.
And I am just going to jump into this again because, first of all, the fact that this is fully live is just crazy because of the quality that we've got on show here. Karen's voice just sounds studio quality all the time, no matter which song she's singing. And like I've said, this is going to be a medley, so we're going through lots of different songs, and some of the melodies are so difficult to sing because they jump all over the place, but Karen is absolutely locked in, as she always was. But something that I do want to point out is the vocal blending that we get throughout this performance. And what I'm going to do is just take down the backing, because I have isolated the vocals from the instrumentation so that we can hear this a little bit more clearly.
Fly while you still have your wings. Knowing when to leave won't ever let you reach the point of no return. Fly. Foolish as it seems.
So try and place Karen's voice in this performance, and where it is dynamically, it's pretty much in your face, and it is that lead vocal, as it should be. But wait for the backing harmonies to come in.
I still have my dreams, so I keep hoping day after day as I wait for the man I need. Night after night.
I mean, that is so good. The way that the vocals are now being consciously blended, and the best way to be able to hear this is listen to Karen's final note before the harmonies.
I still have my dreams, so I keep hoping day after.
So there, with the held notes, you can hear that we've got this kind of, and then as soon as the backing harmonies come in, Karen's voice, she's consciously bringing herself down, therefore not leaning into her vocal as much to blend with the other vocals that are going on. And of course we've got backing harmonies here from Richard, but I think there are maybe two other voices in there, but they're blending so well. That's the point, that you just get this really nice soft blend of vocal noise rather than them being independent voices. And it's this kind of vocal technique that will fly under your radars, because Karen is just intentionally now getting more breathy and taking her foot off the accelerator. Like when she was leaning in before, she's now a lot lighter.
Though I'm sure that no one can tell where their wishes and hopes.
Even that phrase, it's dramatic, but you don't really notice it when you're listening to the performance. Obviously, because we've isolated the vocal, it means that it's going to be more prevalent. But when you're watching the performance, you can appreciate this on such a deeper level. This is the point, that these levels aren't somebody at the mixing desk, moving their hands at a million miles an hour to balance everyone's vocals. This is all just a natural thing from the artists as they are performing, making these adjustments perfectly. This mix is so good.
Somehow I feel there is happiness waiting for me. When someone walks in your life, you just better be sure he's right, 'cause if he's wrong, your heartaches and tears you must pay. Keep both of your eyes on the door, never let it get out of sight. Just be prepared when the time has come, you run away. Say when the wind starts to blow, but like a fool I don't know when to leave, and make it easy on yourself. Make it easy on yourself. sweet and tender love we used to share. Let's go back to the places where we used to go, and I'll be there. Oh, how can I forget you? But there is always something there to remind me. Always something there to remind me. I was born to love you, and I will never be free. You'll always be a part of me. Whoa, 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 whoa.
Just quickly as well, the vocal phrasing and how tight this is. And what I mean by that is ending the phrases at exactly the same time and getting the cadence of each vocal phrase and therefore each word of the vocal phrase being said at exactly the same time, just spot on the beat. I mean, it's very much like, you know, a drummer and a bassist just being on the same page and, you know, being in the pocket, just being so tight with each other, which means that you're matching each other's timing perfectly, but we're getting that from a vocal perspective. And it's great when you hear it perform like this live and this accurately, because it just puts it in a totally different place, because you can just appreciate the music and all of these notes that are going on. As I've already mentioned, they're very difficult to sing this quickly to be able to hit the notes, but we've not only got that from Karen with the lead vocal, but the backing vocals as well are absolutely matching what Karen's doing, and that's why we get such a great sound. It's very much a vocally led performance, and considering we're doing so many songs here, this is the great thing about when great songwriters combine with great artists. You get this kind of result that, you know, just sit back and appreciate it and, you know, be thankful that that combination, that collaboration was able to happen. Just, you know, putting that spotlight on Burt as a songwriter and you're bringing names of great singers to prominence, and, you know, starting out with Dionne Warwick, which is, you know, that he actually wrote for her exclusively when he first started out, and how David did as well, and then obviously lots of other artists started picking up their songs. They started writing for pretty much everyone in the charts, but it wasn't so much that they were going from one artist to another artist to another artist and being just exclusively signed. They were just writing loads of great songs. You would have so many hits in the charts at the same time that were written by the same two people. So, you know, it is crazy, and it is just an art form in itself, being able to come up with a great song. And even talking about the different artists that performed Bacharach and David songs for the first time, once those were released, we're not even mentioning the cover versions of those songs that were then performed afterwards. I mean, technically they're all cover versions of Bacharach and David songs, but the longevity of the songs, because they're so good, they would then be released by another artist. It just goes on and on and on. I mean, a few of which were in this medley, but so many others that aren't going to be in this medley. But if you just check it out on Google, just do a search and have a look through the Bacharach and David hits. I mean, it does blow your mind if you're just looking through that list, because pretty much most of those songs you will know. So anyway, let's get back into this and enjoy some more.
Something there to remind me. Don't tell me what it's all about, 'cause I've been there and glad I'm out of those chains that bind you. That is why I'm here to remind you, here to remind you, here to remind you, here to remind you. What do you get when you fall in love? You only get lies of pain and sorrow. So until tomorrow, how never fall in love again. I'll never fall in love again. Woo! You see me walking down the street, and I start to cry each time we meet. He'll walk on by, make believe. You don't see the tears, doesn't let me grieve in private, 'cause each time I see you, I break down and cry. walk on by, walk on by. Foolish pride, that's all that I have left, so let me hide the tears and the sadness you gave me when you said goodbye. Walk on by, by.
I'm just going to stop here because, yeah, we do have a lot more harmony vocals going on. I did say it sounded like we had 2 or 3. So, the band, interestingly, looks like we've got guitar, maybe there's going to be a bass off to the left-hand side. But because of the mix, we don't really get to hear too much of it. And, you know, I've got a sub here as well, and the bass isn't really cutting through too much. So, it just goes to prove that the mix we're hearing actually, it sounds fantastic, and this is the point. The mix actually isn't that good, but it sounds great because when you're working with just excellence and, you know, great songs, great artists, great instrumentalists, no matter what the mix is like, it's going to sound good because you're working with something that at its core is good even without, you know, the amplification and getting the levels exactly right. Those vocals are always going to take the focus. That's what you're listening in for. And, you know, as humans, that's what we're going to connect to the most. So once those vocals are spot on, everything else, you know, it doesn't matter if it's not mixed very well because you've got great vocalists blending their voices well.
To San Jose, I've been away so long. You know the way to San Jose, I'm going back to find some peace of mind in San Jose. LA is a great big freeway. Put 100 down and buy a car. In a week, maybe 2, they'll make you a star. Weeks in 2 years, how quick they pass. And all the stars that never were are parking cars and pumping gas. I've got lots of friends in San Jose. Whoa, 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 whoa. Can't wait to get back to San Jose. Whoa, 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 whoa. Do you know the way to San Jose?
And there we have it. I mean, Karen Carpenter, whenever I watch her perform in these videos live, she always blows me away. And this is the point, that we're going through a medley of hits here. And Karen is singing songs that might not necessarily sit in her genre, or, you know, it might not suit her voice. But when have you ever heard Karen sing and it doesn't seem like the song suits her voice? Because they just are so great at, you know, mixing up the harmonies a little bit, taking the melody to a slightly different place, but still keeping it authentic. And Karen's sense of pitch is just spot on all the time. So it doesn't matter what kind of song she's singing, it's always going to sound great because the pitch is going to be spot on and she's got control of her vibrato, her expression and everything. But great example here, not only of the songwriting excellence, but you've got to say the excellence of the Carpenters and their overall sound and the way they blend their harmonies. But again, that's only possible because of having that song to work with in the first place. And certainly when you're talking about the Carpenters, Close to You is one of those songs, certainly here in the UK, that was synonymous with the Carpenters, and they owe that to Burt, his songwriting ability, and so many artists do owe that. I mean, most people are more than happy just writing one hit in their lifetime, let alone just having this amount that you can put into a medley. But I also mentioned about the 73 top 40 hits. So yeah, if you were to put that in a medley, it would go on for quite a while. But this was one of those videos, like I said, that was already on the requests list. So it was a great one to showcase Burt's songwriting ability, performed by just a fantastic band here, but a couple of massively talented individuals, the Carpenters. So thank you guys for requesting this video. I hope that you did enjoy it, and I'll catch you guys at the next one.